What will happen to the mantle of the fathers? Listen to me. God is very interested in working better with the next group of people. See, when our generation is past, God will do more with the next generation. That's how it is. Huh? There is this Pentecostal thing. We don't say it with full chest, but we say it in a sense that there are certain people whom God selected. Beside them, none other can shine. It's a Pentecostal idea that someone like Babalola, the very dear Apostle Babalola, the funny thing is that in his writings, he didn't support the idea that is being propagated by 21st century believers. He didn't sell himself like something special. In fact, his own words in his own writings were that there were other people who were more heavily anointed in his days. And Baba wasn't saying it to cap. He wasn't saying it to be humble. There were stories where Baba would send people who were sick in his ministry to go be healed in one of these people's ministries, in one of these people's crusades. So Baba himself recognized that if it is God, there's no ceiling. That if it is this God, he can do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. And Baba himself saw it in his days. Every possibility we see in God is supposed to be a springboard to the next deeper possibility available in God. I can tell you categorically, no matter how bright my light is, you have not seen all God can do. The Bible says God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. What you think is within the confines of what you have seen. What you can think is within the confines of what history has made known to you. And it says God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above. After Moses' story was written, Moses' story is so bright that they ought not to write another person's story. Moses' story is a very qualitative story in scriptures. There are a couple of people in scriptures whose stories are very qualitative. Moses is an icon in the Old Testament. So like you have Abraham as the icon of the fathers. If the prophets had a logo, it would be Elijah. If the law has a logo, it would be Moses. These are three very iconic people. Jesus is another very strong icon because of the grace which he brought. But one thing I want you to notice is the book we're reading is a story of a man who followed Moses. And he did something that Moses did not do. He took the children of God into the promised land. Joshua looked at the sun and moon, and by his words, they stood still. If you say they did not stand still, it's the head that not rotates. Anyone you want to say, what do we know? That the sun and moon stood still. That one, Moses had not done it. Joshua would be carrying with his boys, they'll be carrying the ark. And the moment they put their foot in the Jordan, like it happened with Moses, the Jordan would part. Is you that is saying the fathers. What will happen to the mantle of the fathers? Listen to me. God is very interested in working better with the next group of people. See, when our generation is past, God will do more with the next generation. That's how it is. Huh? Because our limitations is their possibilities. What we consider as limitations becomes their possibilities. What we say is not possible becomes the thing they now ask, why is it not possible? What those who went ahead of us said was not possible. We entered into the possibility thereof because we asked why. So their limitations became our possibilities. It's the same thing. Our limitations today will be the possibilities of those who come after us. So when you are reading scriptures, don't distance yourself. I'm purposely doing the story of Joshua because the story of Joshua, many of us may not realize that Joshua, like every ordinary person, was also a follower of Moses. But Joshua in his days did many amazing things. Joshua took cities that Moses told them about. There were prophecies that God spoke to Moses about, which Joshua became the fulfillment thereof. He may not be Moses, but he himself is a bright icon in his own right. Are you following me? As we study men in the scriptures, I want us to be aware that we are looking at our possibilities. What separates them is that, one, they decided to separate themselves by working with God. Two, as they decided to work with God, God decided to express himself through them. You are not seeing special men. You are seeing a devotion to work with God that God honored by signs and wonders.